Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome into our Week 5 betting preview here on FL1.com. Paul Russo, Jim Sinicropi, and Kyle Evans here with you as always. Guys, it's been a fantastic week, to say the least, out here in the Finger Lakes. Hopefully, either one of you have been able to enjoy it at all.
Yeah, every second of it, because once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah. Kyle, how about you?
Yeah, it's been great. 81 degrees I just looked at, and right now I guess it's 81 out. To me, it doesn't feel like 81, but definitely feels great.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know what else feels great? Winning baseball playoff bets, right, Kyle?
Yeah, $73 last night on the Phillies and the Rangers. So,
Man.
yeah, hopefully I can continue that Saturday for the division series.
Yeah. Yeah, we're nearing one of the sports equinoxes. Baseball, obviously football. Hockey returns on Tuesday, correct?
Yep.
Tuesday, and then the NBA is. We're still a few weeks away from that.
We have
but
our
got
first NBA preseason Saturday.
Wow,
we
what's
got-
worse than NBA games in November and December and January is NBA preseason games.
Yep. I mentioned that because I saw it was a betting thing on DraftKings. You can bet on the Mavericks tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah, great. Yeah, it's the NBA, where you never know who's going to play and who's not going to play. That's one thing about the NFL.
They got rid of that rule though.
What, they said that they have to play certain – they can still rest guys.
Well, so it's weird. To me, it's a personally confusing rule, but you're not allowed. It's more or less the Clipper rule without it being called the Clipper
You're not
rule.
allowed to start
You
bench
can't-
more than 2 All-Stars
Correct.
or at the same
You
time.
can't bench them back-to-back days or anything like
Yeah,
that.
but you can still bring little Johnny to see the game, and he's a big LeBron James fan, and LeBron James isn't playing.
It's true.
And imagine that. Imagine them being like, in the NFL, it happens maybe the last week of the regular season, but other than that, you're seeing all of them. Everybody's feeling their best team. They want to win that week. The NBA, nobody cares about winning. It's about load management.
Yeah.
So it's stupid.
You want to know what I care about as well? Delicious food. And you can find that at Cafe 19.
That's right.
How about that? That's right. Breakfast, lunch, pastries, and celebratory cakes and pies, as well as catering, guaranteed fresh and always local at Cafe 19 here in Santa Falls. Also offering an assortment of beverages, including tea, coffee, and espresso drinks. You can check out their full menus and weekly specials at xixcafe.com.
Yeah.
So,
great lunch
yeah.
specials.
And-
Regular menu and specials and great soups and best lunch spot.
Yep. And I'm a big fan of some of their specialty coffee drinks. So, it's that time of year where the hot coffee comes back onto the plate for me, and the iced coffee that I scare certain high school baristas with by just getting a large black iced coffee go by the wayside. So,
How did we do last week?
well, Jim, I'm happy you asked because, you guys both did good. One loss collectively there, and then there's just me incredibly in the red.
Oh, man, you're going to have
So-
to have a comeback.
I got skunked pretty good last week. Toledo certainly did not cover the 13. The Bengals certainly were in the hole, and the Cardinals tried to backdoor it late for me, but not quite. Jim and Kyle, you were both spot on with the Lions last Thursday night as they
Easy one.
rolled on that one. Jim nailed the Jaguars as well. Kyle absolutely aced the over on the Miami Buffalo game.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Kyle was right. I was a little nervous just thinking it was like a trap.
Yeah, I figured the defense in that game would show up a little bit more, but spot on with that one.
And I got to say something, too, about
Sure.
that Georgia State loss. If you watched last week's podcast, I was very confident that Georgia State would beat Troy.
Yeah.
And nothing rattles me more than when I feel so good about a bet and it goes the opposite. Troy crushed them.
Yeah.
So it really rattles me and makes me not want to bet. Makes me feel like an idiot. But you got to get back on the horse. That's going to happen sometimes.
And there's a reason why we call it the Fun Belt, the Sun Belt, the Fun Belt. So that'll happen. Kyle, you were really hoping, like many people out there, that Patrick Mahomes was gonna go right on into the end zone there in the final minute and a half. But instead, when he took the slide, it also gave you the only slide of your week as well.
That was well said. Yeah, I mean, the thing about me, though, is I always just look back at the first quarter. They're up 17-0. I mean, that's where the game changed to me. I don't think it should have ever been that close. A couple turnovers by Mahomes got the Jets back into it, and then the Chiefs scored 6 points after the first quarter. I mean, that's unheard of. That
Mahomes
just
kept
shows,
throwing interceptions.
yeah, I mean, just not
Unlike
taking
him.
care of the ball. And, I mean, yeah, that slide, it's frustrating, but you knew it was going to happen. So, yeah, nothing you can do. I'll take a 5-1. I'm 5-1 in my last 2 weeks, so I'll take that.
Yeah, you can't complain. Neither of you guys can complain. Your new banks both more than what they were last week, both able to snag an extra unit onto the rollover. As for me, we first time lowest I've been so far this year. So, but that's part of gambling. It's part of betting. It happens from time to time. So, week 5 here in the NFL. We got week 6 in the NCAA side of things, but week 5 on our episodes here. And
talk real quick too about obviously those are 3 bets, but we're all probably placing more bets. I love to bet player prop bets on the Thursday night, Saturday, Sunday night, Monday night games, just for entertainment purposes, really. But done pretty well, and I gotta reiterate to take advantage of the bonuses that your online sports book is offering. And again, I don't know if they're going to continue the no sweat bets this weekend, but that's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, they are. I looked into it. Yep.
I mean, if you consider that everything's a coin toss, that's enough to put you over the top. So my balance on DraftKings has been rising throughout the football season, even though I'm probably am at about 50%. But you add those 3 free bets in.
Right. And to tag along, you mentioned it, right? But to tag along with that, like New York, we have more than, I think we're pushing a dozen books now, if I recall properly. I mean, always as I know I said week 1, but like you even said just now, Jim, right? There are plenty of books out there that, we have DraftKings offering no sweat bets. I know FanDuel does a bunch of bonuses as well. Like your options are out there.
And if you want to take it to the next level and you want to get serious about it, and it's something that I don't do because it's just a little too much, is you get accounts at 5 or 6 different sports books, and you look for the best line.
Correct.
And you take advantage of all their promos. And like I say, for me, it's just a little too much. I'm comfortable with DraftKings, but if you're more serious you get about it, that's something that you should do.
Definitely. Yeah. Luckily, those no sweats kind of saved me a little bit.
And the bonuses, like you'll see 50% profit boost on Monday night game, or 50% profit boost on Notre Dame Louisville bets. So I wouldn't say that would make me put a bet on that specific game just to get the boost, but
Makes
if
you
you
think.
are, you got to take, all of a sudden when you win, you get more money. It's all a numbers game and odds game, and you got to take advantage of all that stuff.
Yeah, and obviously, look, this weekend you kind of let off there, right? There's not just football this week. I know we're football centric kind of show in this realm, but look, you got playoff baseball happening. You got 4 games on Saturday. You got a couple on Sunday. I know a couple also on Monday.
Sanderson Farms PGA Tour event.
See?
You want to bet some golf?
I know there's some football out there and about as well, but either way, now we're going way down a path. So for week 5 here, you both tied for the week. Do we let Kyle continue honors like golf, or?
Yeah, let's hear Kyle's first, because
All right.
I got more. I haven't even been able to determine my 3 picks this week. Part of me wants to go 4 because there's so much I like. So I will not double up with Kyle this week, no matter what he picks. I promise I won't double up.
All right, Kyle, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so as I said on Bills Weekly, back on Monday, I think the Bills are going to win by double digits, so I took the -5 in that game, in that Sunday morning game. And then this game is pretty interesting to me. I'm going to take the Texans +2 at Atlanta. I just love the way C.J. Stroud's been playing. I know Atlanta's defense is going to be.
Right.
I love that Houston pick.
That was one of the ones I like too, and I agree. Because can you imagine Pittsburgh, the Falcons doing what the Texans did to Pittsburgh? Can you imagine the Falcons doing that to anybody?
Yeah, and
I can't.
And Desmond Ridder, I don't like what I've seen from him. So yeah, Texans +2, and then my final pick, I'm just gonna stick with them after they hurt me last week. I got Chiefs -4 against the Vikings.
All right.
And those odds together, because I'm going to probably put them just together just for the heck of it, and it's plus 584.
Phew.
How about that? Nice little three-teamer.
Bills
Then.
game makes me nervous. They're going to Europe. Jacksonville's been over there for 2 weeks already. Just a little bit of out of the ordinary. I would hope that it wouldn't affect the Bills to the point that they would lose the game, but and Jacksonville's got to snap out of it at some point, right, and become a little more what we expected. They did a little bit last week, and so that'll be a good game. Too bad you got to get up so early in the morning to watch it.
All right, Jim. Do you need a couple more minutes for your picks, or are you locked in?
No, I like all of Kyle's picks. Excuse me. I even like the Chiefs at 4.5, which was the last time I saw the line.
Oh, yeah, it's now -4.
I like the Cardinals +3 over the Bengals. Again, the Bengals are a mess. I don't see how they're going to fix things in a week. But that's not one of my picks. I like the 49ers 3.5 over the Cowboys. That's not one of my picks. I like the Jets and the Broncos under 43.5. That's not one of my picks. And I also like the under in the Saints-Patriots game, under 40. But that's not one of my picks for the show either. My pick this week, only one pick from the NFL, and it's Jalen Waddle, Miami playing the Giants, over 62.5 receiving yards. He's been quiet all year. He's been coming off an injury, law of averages. He's due for a game, and so I got him over 62.5 yards, Jalen Waddle. I also want to throw in there I might parlay it with over 23.5 for the longest reception because, of course, they get yards in big chunks, but we'll stick with that over 62.5 Jalen Waddle for my pick in the NFL. And then college, man. Wow, there's so many games I like in college. I like Miami -20.5 versus Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech lost to Bowling Green last week. I love the under in the Purdue at Iowa game, 38.5. It's so low, but Iowa's quarterback's out, and they don't put up points even with them. And Purdue,
Not to interrupt, but do you guys know? See, now to pull it back here, obviously, and I think if you've watched or listened all, you know I always give a college pick, and I actually have 2 college for this week. But do either of you know the I'm calling it a gimmick about Iowa's offensive coordinator this year?
right?
Brian Ferentz, who is Kirk Ferentz, the head coach's son. He's the OC. And more or less, to quote-unquote, even though I think he's safe no matter what, he has to score 312 points as an offensive unit, right? And they are currently under that rate right now.
Right. It's because they can't.
No.
That's not their style. And, you saw what Syracuse did to Purdue.
Yeah.
And Iowa's defense is strong, so I like the under in that game, 38.5. But that's not one of my picks. And I mentioned I like Miami. That's not one of my picks. So it comes down to these last 3 games, and one of them that I'm taking for sure, LSU -5.5 at Missouri. I kind of like the over too, but LSU's coming off allowing Ole Miss to pile up, more than 700 yards, which means it's going to be probably high scoring. I like the over the 64.5, but I'm taking LSU in the points. LSU can move the ball at will. It's more been something of a defensive inefficiency. So I do expect it to be high scoring, but I'm going to take LSU -5.5 on the road against Missouri. And then I got to take Notre Dame -6 against undefeated Louisville on the road at Louisville. And the clincher for me there is they've had one common opponent this year so far, and that was NC State. Louisville, and they were both played at NC State. Louisville escaped with a 13-10 win just last week at NC State. Notre Dame played them back in early September, 45-24. So that's enough. And it also, it's just like Syracuse's undefeated run kind of ran out last week. I see that happening to Louisville here against Notre Dame. So I'll take that one too. The one game that I didn't pick that I kind of wish I want to as well is Michigan -19.5 at Minnesota. And again, Michigan thrashed Nebraska last week on the road 45-7. Minnesota lost to Northwestern. They also lost at home to Nebraska on August 31st. So, it's just, Minnesota hasn't given me any reason to think they'll be the first team to stay within 3 touchdowns of Michigan.
Yeah.
So, but again, that's not my official pick, just some extra tips there. So,
Yeah.
I yield my time.
So I will begin with my lone NFL pick as well, and I will ride, quote-unquote, a coattail here of Kyle. I'm doing Bills -5. I just think firing all cylinders. That being said, I do, see that as maybe being a potential sketchy-ish area, but I just think the Miami game last week sold me on taking them this week. So
I agree with you overall, but you see it so many times. What happens last week often just reverses the following week. It's but are the Bills that special type of team, similar to how maybe the Chiefs have been, that just week after week they just keep on, pouring it on, unstoppable offense.
Yeah. Then I have 2 college games, and that last week they did me a little bit dirty outside of our picks here, but I got a couple in the MAC here. Toledo -19 on the road at UMass. We are back in full-fledged fade UMass mode.
Even after Toledo let you down last week.
After, yes, but more importantly, UMass got absolutely throttled by a very underwhelming and underperforming and underachieving Arkansas State team last week. So I think maybe UMass punched above their weight the first couple weeks, and
they weren't great. They lost to Eastern Michigan,
right,
but they did cover the spread in that game.
And
a loss.
I just think Toledo's going to be one of those teams in the MAC to watch out for. I've been harping it all year. And then my other pick is the other team in the MAC that you have to be watching out for all year, and that's Ohio, -26 on the road. Or no, they're home, rather, against Kent State. And Kent is not great this year.
Guys, they're 26-point underdogs.
Yeah. And then I don't have – I wish I –
State battle, though.
Yes, yeah. A little bit south of the true rival. I'm keeping an eye for Kent Akron later on here in the year because they're right next to each other. But I got a couple other games to keep an eye on. Colorado's on the road at Arizona State this week. Last check, it opened at a 4-point line. I know it moved already to 5, Colorado being a favorite. And although I'm not high on Colorado maybe overall on the year, they are not nearly as bad as Arizona State. Arizona State is rough.
I was surprised that it wasn't a little bit bigger spread, just because I guess the hype over Coach Prime.
Well, I think the book is kind of where we don't know where Travis Hunter is exactly for the week. I mean, Shiloh Sanders also in the secondary for Colorado's trending out. So, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. An interesting game. I live in the G5 here at the moment, I guess. But Fresno State at Wyoming. Fresno State's favored by 5.5, but that's an interesting potential money line spot for Wyoming, in my opinion. They, with a backup quarterback at the time, took Texas down to the wire in Wyoming. That game's in Wyoming today or this weekend as well. So I would keep an eye on that. And then there's a couple other floating around there, like Oregon State. I think as long as that stays a single-digit line, Oregon State at the moment's a 9.5-point favorite at Cal. Cal's been better than I think anticipated, but nowhere near what Oregon State's been. So there's a couple stuff like that floating around still, but I'm staying away for those. So I'm walking in with Toledo, Ohio, and the Buffalo Bills as my picks this week.
All right, Here we go.
So
who's going to win the World Series, Kyle?
Yeah.
I'm actually looking at baseball right now for Saturday, but World Series, I think the Braves. I really do. I don't.
What if the Phillies upset them?
I would be happy.
Yeah, but what if the Braves were out? Would you take the Phillies then?
No, I would take the Astros.
Good odds on the Phillies.
The Astros, for me, just find a way all the time.
Find a way to cheat their way.
And
they got new ways to cheat.
They got Verlander lineup tomorrow. I mean, I just think if the Braves get eliminated, the Astros win.
I hate the Astros.
Yeah.
I really do. My least favorite franchise after that crap they pulled.
But I do have a prediction for Saturday that not many will probably like. Got the Rangers going into Baltimore and upsetting the Orioles in Game 1.
Ooh.
How about for the series?
Part of me thinks the Orioles are going to be eliminated.
Yeah,
First
I mean,
round.
hey, look, the party's over. That happens to a lot of teams.
I don't know about
Big
their
hype,
pitching.
all regular season, get to the playoffs, you're done.
I might look into the Rangers upsetting in that entire series. These are best of 5. If the Rangers do grab game 1, the Orioles are they got some pressure behind them with a bullpen that's not as great as it once was.
Yep.
So yeah, and I think the Astros cruise past the Twins.
Speaking of that, though, what team has the most blown saves this year in the MLB?
Yeah, but look who hasn't allowed a run so far in 2
Texas.
games.
I know. I'm taking
Chapman
Baltimore.
looked
I'm
great.
taking Baltimore, by the way, for the World Series at this point. Although,
The Orioles to win the
well, here's the
World
thing.
Series.
There's just not enough juice out in Atlanta if you're going to go the betting route to do it. Even though I think Atlanta's by far, they have such a complete package.
Well,
But to me, I think Baltimore, if you want to get a little bit of value going and stuff like that, I'd say Baltimore. But
if you really want to get the value going, take the Phillies.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Don't follow me by taking Milwaukee at the
You
start
know,
of
the
the
Phillies
week.
beat the Braves last year, remember?
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
But the Braves are better this year, right?
Yep.
But so are the Phillies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not touching any of it.
Make a pick, though. Make a pick.
No, 100% take the
Like-
Astros Saturday over the Twins. Would
Think?
Verlander going in game 1 at home, that's a lock. And pair that with something. Put some money on it and use the boost.
Yeah, okay. Look at you go.
Gaining confidence.
Yeah.
In fact, I might put a lot on the Astros. They're not going to lose at home with Justin Verlander on the mound.
Okay. Go off. Go off, Kyle.
And that Twins offense wasn't great yesterday. The Blue Jays gave them so many opportunities to score more than 2 runs, and they just didn't do it.
Now, Blue Jays, what a disappointment there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
Typical classic Toronto at this point, right?
yeah.
Full sweeps across all the wild card rounds.
And no baseball today or tomorrow now.
Yeah, the Yankees had as many postseason wins as the Rays and Blue Jays did.
Now you had to go and do that.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
a
the
tough-
Orioles. Imagine if the Orioles somehow got swept and the entire AL East didn't win a single postseason game.
And yet Minnesota were to advance to, like, the ALCS as, like, the ultimate joke.
Yeah, that would be wild.
Hey, they're in. You got to be in it to win it.
It's true. Very true. Speaking of in it to win it, it's what our picks are all about.
Yeah, good luck, everybody, this weekend.
Yeah.
The weather's going to be a little colder, so maybe you'll be sitting at home watching more games than you would have last weekend when it was beautiful out.
True.
Make sure to set your alarm for London at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So the Bills start at 9:30. What time do you like? You are going to get out of bed earlier?
I'll probably be out. I'll probably be up at 8.
Problem with me is that I play golf on Sunday mornings. I usually get home by 1, and even though the weather's going to be crappy, we're still going to be out there.
Right.
So I'm going to miss that entire Bills game.
Sheesh. Somebody will have some sort of feed in your group, I'm assuming, for that.
Oh yeah, we'll be keeping track if we can work the phone with our mittens.
Right. Yeah.
It's going to be like 47 degrees.
Yeah. I won't set an alarm, but I'll be up by 9. 9's pretty much the latest I can sleep into at this point. With the what I call natural clock, if you will, just kind of getting me up and everything like that. So, but yeah, NFL Network only game. At least it's not truly behind a paywall this weekend, I guess, as opposed to last week. Unless you have a child and you're forced into watching the Toy Story version. But either way, we digress. So, good luck, guys. Good luck to everybody else.
Yep,
And,
have a good weekend.
yeah, have a great weekend. Hopefully everybody can hit a ticket at the window there, come out on top. And until next Thursday, we'll talk with everybody then. Good luck.